Drop top. It's the weekend, baby. Good morning, world. Good morning, and happy Friday. It's the weekend, baby. It's the weekend, baby. It's the weekend, baby. Good morning, YouTube. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's time to get up and get the day started. It's the day that the Lord has made, and it is full of joy, and it is full of promise, and it is full of hope. So today, April the 26th, 2024. Let's get up, let's move around, let's shake it off, go in the bathroom, wash your face, brush your teeth, jump in that shower to get the body moving, to get energetic. Just get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Good morning, Jazzy J. Thank you for being here with me to this morning. And good morning and happy Friday. And the weekend starts now. Even if you got to get up and go to work, it's okay. Because at the end of the day is going to end somewhere and somehow. If you're off today, enjoy today. Your weekend has already started if you're off today. Even if you're working today, just work, just work in a happy mood, not because it's Friday, not because it's the weekend, but because this is the day that the Lord has made. And everything is going to be all right. You just have to make that choice. You have the choice to make this a good day or a mediocre day. So that choice is up to you. Good morning, I say again. Good morning, good morning, good morning. In my morning reading this morning, I read in the book of Second Thessalonians. It said being courageous. And what does being courageous entails? And I was reading it. I said, I'm going to read it out loud. Courage is often associated with acts of bravery that defies typical human experiences. Running through a flame to save a child, jumping to a raging river to pull someone to shore, or chasing down a thief to retrieve a stolen purse. But courage doesn't always look so heroic. Courage is standing your ground when you feel like running. It's saying yes to something you feel God is telling you to do, even when you aren't sure you can do it. Courage can tell someone you don't want to hear the negative thoughts about other people. It can be sharing your testimony with the room full of people or with just someone. Sometimes it takes courage just to leave your house. When we place our trust and hope in God, He will give us the courage we need to do the task He wants us to do. If that includes doing something heroic, great. But let's not underestimate the importance of walking courageously in the small things as well. Who is that? Courage can often mean different things to different people. And the part that really stood out for me was courage can be telling someone you don't want to hear the negative thoughts about other people. I was talking to my friend, one of my friends. Good morning, Miss Bugs. Thank you for being here. Oldest five. Okay, oldest 5 a.m. here. It's 5 a.m. in California. I am awake and listening, sending peace and love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh man, you out in California. Oh man, wow. Thank you for getting up just to listen to me. And I'm saying being true to yourself and being courageous. Sometimes when we're not true, when we are not courageous enough to be true to ourselves, we join a go along, get along kind of game. So that's not being true to yourself. You're being true to someone else and you're leaving you out. And yesterday, a friend had, my friend, she lived right down the hall from me. And we go to church, we ride to church together. And once we go in our apartment, we'll talk to each other on the phone just to check to see how each other is doing. And sometimes, we'll walk down to the mailbox together or we'll walk down to the fitness room together. So she was talking to me about her son, one of her sons, and she was so upset, just so upset. And I said to her about a situation that's going on. So I said, you know what? The best thing that you could do is just keep your mouth closed about it because, like in relationships, especially with your children, you can go there. You can really go there sometime when your children come and telling you what's going on in their relationship, and then you put your 2 cents in. And sometimes it's just best, just be quiet, just be quiet. So I'm listening to her, and I can hear her frustration, and I can hear her aggravation and stuff. In her son, with her son. So then I said, you know what, you're just going to have to man up and, fess up and either, tell your son what it is that you're feeling when he is talking about his wife and stuff like that. You got to be, you got to be strong enough to tell your son, look, I don't want to hear that. I just don't want to hear it, because after the conversation is over, you're going to go right back into that situation with your wife. Either you're going to stay with her or you're going to divorce her. So, and don't let your anger and your frustration build up to the point that you start saying, you just blur it out. I don't care about this, and this what y'all are doing, this what y'all are doing. So, whatever it is that you're feeling, don't bottle that up. Be courageous enough to stand firmly on your word and say what you feel like needs to be said. Because, at the end of the day, people going to say what they're going to say. They're going to say what they need to say, and they're going to say what they feel like saying. And you all bottled up and you all tensed up because you don't want to hurt nobody feeling, but people dog walking you and walking all over your feelings, and you just sitting there taking. Sometimes you got to have the courage to stand up for yourself and be true to yourself. And in the reading in Second Thessalonians 1:11, I went to scripture so I could get a good understanding of what it was saying, because the scripture for that, it was saying, may he give you the power to accomplish all the good things our faith prompts us to do. And sometimes God has told somebody, just keep pricking your spirit to, leave your job and start your own business, start that catering business, start that jewelry making business, start that, start whatever service, go back to school, get your master's, go back to school and get your doctorate, go back to school and become what it is you are passionate about. Start that business, and you still questioning God and you still saying, oh no, I can't do that, I can't do that. However, when God is dropping something in your spirit, you got to listen, because if God is if God is prompting you to do something, you better believe he's with you anyway, and he's always going to be with you. But when something is he's prompting your spirit to keep telling you to go, do this, and you're hesitating, that means you don't trust the word of God. That means that you don't trust God enough to start that business, to go back to school. But the bills got to be paid. The children got to be fed. I got things going on. And I've always said this story about my daughter. Before my daughter became a nurse, She was in medical coding and billing. And oh, she loved that job. She loved that job mainly because it provided her the money to live in a way that she wanted to live for her and her daughter. So my daughter always wanted to be a nurse, always wanted to be a nurse. She started out in the medical with CNA, and then she went into medical coding and billing because she wanted to know all a variety of aspects of the medical field. So she do in medical coding and billing. She in there for about from 2 to 3 years. She was doing that, and she was getting a little restless, a little anxious, and she kept saying, "I'm so sick of this job. I'm so tired of this job." Every day she came home, she was whining and complaining about that job. I want to go back to school. I'm sick of this job. I'm tired of this job. And so when she walked in and she go, "Hey mom, how you doing?" And I said, "Well, how was your day?" "Mom, I'm so sick of this job. I'm just tired of this job." And so she just continually said that. And then it was one day she came, "How was your day today?" "Oh mom, I'm so sick of that job." I said, "Look, if you sick of that job, stop whining and stop complaining about how sick of this job that you are. Either leave it or keep going with it." So you got to make that choice for yourself. If you want to go back to school, you go back to school. If not, you continue working this job. So I guess she just pondered on that. She just pondered, she pondered. So here comes the pandemic comes, the COVID comes. So she went to Votech and she took the nursing aptitude test and she passed the nursing aptitude test. Now it's time for her, get all the books, get all the everything that she needed for the class and stuff. So she's still working on her job. She's still complaining about that job. And now the job is outsourcing. You got to work from home now. And so I'm gonna tell you how good God is. God do not leave his children in the blind. So she said, "Okay, I done made a decision, Mom, but I need for you to do something for me." So okay, what is it? She said, "I need classes getting ready to start, and I'm gonna need you to call my job and tell them that we had to take Jordan to the hospital because she have the symptoms of the COVID." Now, oh God, I said, "Oh no, Verena, I can't do that. I don't like to lie. I don't like lying like that because it might happen." And that was my thing. I don't lie on my mama, my children, all my grandchildren. If I don't feel like going to work, I just call and say I ain't coming in. I don't say somebody's sick or this, that happened. She said, "Please, Ma, just this one time." So it just took, oh my God, I don't know if the lady knew I was lying or not, but I just called the lady, the class, the lady at the front desk to let them know that she would not be in school. And they said, "Oh, I hope she'll be all right." I had to hung up the phone because I just could not perpetrate that lie. So she went to school and, "Oh, Mama, I love it. I love it. I love it." Okay, you love it. So now you got to tell these other people. I said, "I can't lie no more." I said, "You're going to either have to tell these people that you're going to put in your week or your 2 week notice and send these people back all their equipment, or you're going to drop out of school. You're going to have to make it work some kind of way because I'm not telling another lie. I'm not going to do that." But she was courageous enough to listen to that voice, that still voice, that's the Holy Spirit that was prompting her to be true to herself. Verena, be true to yourself, honey. Just tell these people you don't want to work with them no more. Put in your 2 weeks notice, and if they be nasty and say, "Well, you could leave now," it ain't no problem. Ain't no worries. Leave now. Box their equipment up and send it on back to them. And that's what she do. So you have to be courageous enough. Whatever it is that God is leading and dropping in your spirit to do, that's what you have to do. You have to move on that. When God say move, you got to move. And it's just like that. When God say be still about a situation, be still about that situation. If God says get out of a negative relationship, get out a relationship with your friends, with your family, with anything, that's not helping you, get out of it. Even when you like, oh, even like what I'm seeing now on YouTube, people like mess. And I'm not saying everybody that's listening to all of this stuff that's going on right now enjoy that. However, when you put yourself in a situation, when you put yourself in a situation to hear the negative about someone and you want to speak up, but you're afraid to speak up, just imagine if you were being attacked like that, if your family was being attacked like that, and no one stood up no one stood up and said, that's wrong what you're saying. That's wrong what you're doing. And it's wrong. That's negative. Those negative vibes out there. And no one stood up to say anything on your behalf. How would you feel? Because sometimes I'm sitting and I'm looking at this stuff and all the negativity. I don't go on other channels. I'm not down in nobody's channel. You speak on what you want to speak on, and the people in your chat can speak on, elaborate on what you're talking about. I just don't do that. But when I'm on other people's channel that I do go on, and I see people come over there and they say mean and bitter and hateful things, you come to someone else's house to spit in their face. How that work? You come to someone else's house to cause issue and to cause trouble. How does that work? You're that brave to come over in my house and write something down and tell me what you feel and tell me what you think. That takes courage as well. That takes courage as well. So you could have the courage to be negative, and you can have the courage to be positive. I choose to go in a positive direction because you know what? My great grandma always said to me, she said, honey, you know what? You can catch more flies with sugar than you can with vinegar. I never understood it until I became adult. When my early 20s, had to see that, bitter words, harmful words, that don't accomplish anything. And you don't get too far with that. Sometimes you have to stand in the face of adversity. Sometimes, because you know what? Criticism builds character. Constructive criticism builds character. And I used to get so angry when people criticize me. However, in that criticism, there was some truth in that criticism. And I worked on those areas that I was being criticized in, not for them, but for me, because it was me that they were talking about. And I started to take self-inventory and look inside of me. I was courageous enough to look at me. We can always look at other people. We can always tell other people, you ought to do this. You should do this. You need to do that. You need to stop doing that. You need to do it this way. You need to, and I had just got so frustrated. And I was telling people, don't tell me what I ought to do. Don't tell me what I should do. Don't tell me what I need to do. I know what I need to do. I know what I ought to do. However, I was getting angry because they were right. In some of what they were saying, they were right. I do need to do this. I do need to stop having the attitude. I do need to stop telling people whatever I thought about them and whatever I felt about them. I needed to stop doing that. And once I stopped doing that, because I recognized it for myself after a while, because people are always ready to tell you about you. And I had to tell my aunt after my cousin had passed away. And it's two plump cousins, they sisters. And so me and my daughter we were talking about how my mom and my aunt get together sometime and they just talk about the women in the family, because that's mostly what's in my family, women. And they talk about the young women in the family, and it makes you so angry. And it's like people are afraid to talk back to my mom. They're afraid to talk back to my aunt. And I just, I have never been that person to let you know, I don't like what you're saying. What you're saying is hurting my feeling, and all you do is criticize. And so one Sunday it was going to be my cousin's. She had passed away a week before her birthday. And when her birthday came, her birthday was like on that Friday, and that Sunday we had a birthday dinner for her. So, but my aunt had asked me to come before everybody else come. So I went, and she and I, we were just talking, and she was talking about her feelings and how she was feeling, and I was asking her questions about how she's getting along and how she's feeling. And so then I said, you know what, Auntie? I said, you know what? You give some good advice, but however, your delivery is very hurtful. And she was in the kitchen pitter pattering around, and she turned around and she looked at me and said, how so? I said, Auntie, you know, everything that you tell us, we listen to what you say. Even though it hurts our feelings, sometimes we still listen to what you say. I said, you could say what you say, but you could say it in a more caring and nurturing and loving way that we don't get our feelings hurt. I know sometimes you have to deliver things the way that you have to deliver things, but all the time, that's the way you deliver things in a hurtful way. And so, she said, example. I said, you know, you always telling Shayna and you always telling Tanja that they big. They know they big. You ain't got to tell them they big. They know the way they carry their self. You don't have to tell them that. They already know that. And the more you tell them that and the more negative you are about that, it does something to them. So when everybody else start coming and we laughing, we talking, we eating, we crying, and you know, we shedding tears because it's Debbie's birthday and she's not here, but we had a party for her anyway. So after everybody left and just me, my aunt, and Tangy, we were just talking, and sometimes she said, sometimes Grandma, you hurt my feelings when you be saying things. And she looked at me and I just looked at her, and then she said, how so do I hurt your feelings? She said, Grandma, you don't have to tell me about I'm big. She said, I know I'm big, you don't have to tell me that. And she said, oh, Rita just told me that, you know, the way she said, Grandma, we appreciate everything that you say and everything we do that you do. We appreciate that. She said, but sometimes when you telling us things, it's just the way you say stuff sometimes. And then, you know, you have to speak. And, you know, I had always told Tanya, speak up for yourself, girl. Speak up for yourself. Don't let your grandma, your mom, and nobody else talk down to you, because you're a person and you have the right to speak up and stand up for yourself. So we have to be mindful of the things that we say to each other, and mindful of the way that we treat each other. Everybody has their opinion, and your opinion matters. Your opinion counts, and it's okay. And it's okay. So just be more courageous. Stand up for yourself, you know, when you need to stand up. And if you need to stand up for someone else, you do that as well. Stand up for someone as well. So, you know, that was one part of my morning reading. And, you know, I have never had that problem standing up and defending myself, because as an only child, I had to do that. I had to learn how to do that from a early age. I had living in South Miami, Florida, I had to learn how to defend myself at an early age. And as I grew older, it was more so that I had to learn how to be. Sometimes I was scared, but I never let nobody see the fear. So, and that made me be who I am today, you know, just to stand for what's right. Sometimes you have to stand up for people that's afraid to stand up for themselves until they find that courage to stand up, you know, for themselves. And even on our jobs, you know, we're afraid to speak to our manager. We're afraid to speak. I never had that problem, because I believe I gained more respect when I talk to my manager about how I feel and what I don't like and what I wasn't going to take from nobody. And I just let them know, when I came to this job, I was looking, before I came, I was looking for a job. And when I came here, I was still looking for a job. And when I leave, I'll be looking for a job again. So it's, I'm a respect your position, and I'm gonna respect you as long as I can. However, I will not tolerate any disrespect from you because you are in the position that you are in. And that was that. And got along perfectly, got along perfectly, because you're not going to say what you want to say to me in the name of I'm the supervisor, I'm the manager, this I'm the head. I don't care about that. You're not going to talk to me any kind of way. And then my second, I like to read in the morning when it's quiet. I had my gospel music on, had it down low, and just read the scriptures to get my morning started. And I read in Thessalonians, I was reading Second Thessalonians, where my reading was coming from, about being courageous. And then I went into my daily bread. It said serving together in Jesus, and it was coming out of Philippians 4:16. And it was telling the story about these two women that had a problem in the church. Even though they had that problem in the church, they worked together towards the good. And sometimes we could have issues with people on our jobs. We could have issues with our family members. Sometimes we just have issues with people, period. But there is some common good even when you're having issue with someone. If you that person that's mature enough to understand, okay, we got to work together, and I could be cordial even though we're not friends, even though we're at odds. If I'm just cordial, this can work for the good of everyone, not just myself, but everyone. Quick story. Once again, working at Publix, working in the deli. I'm new in the deli, so everybody already know each other. I'm new. So after a while, because I like to be quiet and I like to observe first before anything. I saw who I wasn't going to get along with. I saw who I didn't want to get along. It wasn't get along. Let me rephrase that. I saw who I didn't want to be friends with. I saw who maybe I could be friends with. And I saw someone I didn't even care. I didn't even recognize that they was there. So, and me and this one young lady, I mean, we got close really quick, because I think at that time I was the second oldest person that was working in the deli and stuff, and all that mess what they was talking about, been there, done that. So that conversation that y'all having, I'll be quiet because it does not concern me, and I'm not living that type of life. So, a young lady, LaQuisha. 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 And I just used to like to say her name because it sounded so ghetto. Not ghetto. It sounded so hood to me, so 90s to me. LaQuisha. So LaQuisha and Jamila were friends. I come in, me and Jamila become cool. She said, Miss Maritha, what do you do when you be off? I say, go shopping. I say I like perfume, I like lingerie. I say I go shop and I take myself out to eat, and I go buy myself a bottle of perfume. I say every payday I buy myself a bottle of perfume and I take myself out to eat. She said, where do you go and eat? I say anywhere that I want to. Now her and LaQuisha, they were friends, and then I come in and we start having conversations, and she started talking to me about things that were going on with her, and I would give her advice, and we start going out shopping together. And I said, just don't say nothing about it. We go out because I don't want your friend to get angry. Super Bowl comes around. I don't work on Sunday, but I had to work. I worked that Sunday, so I had took this lady order that Saturday, and LaQuisha snatched the order out my hand. So I said, okay. What's that about? I'm saying I ain't, follow up with nothing else. So the lady come in Sunday to pick up her order. So the order had been made, and I went to look for the order, and I asked her, I said, well, where is the lady's order? I don't know what order you talking about. Just going all off on me, talking loud and getting. I said, girl, if you don't shut the hell up, I said, I don't know who in the hell you think you talking to. And I talked to her just like this because I did not want to work on Sunday, and I was not going to allow her to talk to me. Everybody in the store was scared to say anything to LaQuisha because the store manager and LaQuisha mom was friends. And I said, girl, with your hood, I said, you, what I call her? I call her a bird from the hood. That's what I call her, a low down dirty bird from the hood. I said, you don't talk to me like that. And she got angry because I was talking back to her. And she went to the store manager, and she went to the assistant store manager. She went to the store manager, and she went to the manager of the deli. And they called me in the office. And I told them, let me tell you something. When I came here, I was looking for a job. And when I leave, I'll be looking for a job. I don't know how you allow her to talk to y'all, but she's not going to talk to me like that. I have children her age, so I don't allow them to talk to me like that. And I for damn sure is not going to allow her to talk to me that way. So they had me in the office. She wasn't in the office. They told her she could go home. So she go home. I'm still in the office. So the store manager said, well, Miss Maritha, you're older than LaQuisha, and she wasn't raised the way you were raised, and maybe she wasn't raised the way that you're raising her children. I said, that's not my problem. I said, that's not my problem. I said, you can allow her to do whatever you want to do in this store, but she will not talk to me the way she talked to me. I said, this your store. You can do whatever you want. You can pacify her. I'm not doing that. So she told me, she said, this is my store. I could do what I want to do in my store. I said, of course you can. And I said, I can do what I want to do as well. I could get up and walk out. I said, because if it came between me and her, you would let me go before you would let her go. And I said, I don't even have a problem with that. So what's not going to happen? She's not going to talk to me any kind of way. You're not going to talk to me any kind of way. And I pointed to everybody in the office. No one in this office is going to talk to me any kind of way. I was courage. I had always felt like that, but by and by, me and LaQuisha we didn't become friends. We just became cordial. I learned how to be cordial with someone, because in Philippians 4, it says, Philippians 4:6, it say, don't worry about anything, but everything through prayer and petition with thanksgiving. Present your request to God, and the peace of God, which surpass all understanding, will guide your hearts and your mind. And that's what I always try to live through that. And I just say and then go down in verse 19 and say, my God will supply all your needs according to his riches and glory in Christ Jesus. So sometimes you have to let a person know. You just really have to let people know. And then you'll get more respect out of being true to yourself than trying to be phony, trying to be flawless. And I tell people, I'm flawed. I am flawed. I'm not perfect. I'm a flawed individual. I am an imperfect individual, but I'm striving for perfection. And I know when I reach glory, I'll be perfect. I ain't got the word, because in glory in heaven, it's not that talking about people. It's not all of that, backbiting and backstabbing and going along to get along type of thing. That's not there. It's just not there. And there are some good people, because yesterday, one of the people that she and we talked We talk seem like every day sometime. And she's such a sweet person. And she said, Auntie, I have a lot of stuff that I want to send you, that I'm going to send you some things and stuff like that. So, when people do things for me and want to do things for me, I appreciate that so much. And, because you never know, just being kind to people, you don't know what you're doing for someone else on your job, in your everyday life, just holding the door open for someone, when you're at Targets, when you're at Walmart, when you like in a fast food McDonald's or wherever it is you go in line and someone don't have enough to pay, just say, here, I'll pay the rest, or heck, what I'll pay for it, I'll just pay for it. And you don't know how God is going to bless you from just being true to yourself, not being nice to get something out of it, but just being true and nice, because that's what God requires us to do. We're supposed to look out for each other. We're supposed to love each other. And we're supposed to encourage and be there for each other. What we're doing by tearing people down and backstabbing and scheming and being conniving and being malicious, that's not God. Like that's not an attribute of God. When your main motivation is to tear a person down, to destroy a person, that is not of God, and nobody can't make that be of God. Even though you're using God's name in vain and putting God and stuff God ain't got no business being in, And this lady sent me a box. And she said, Auntie, you got it yet? You got it yet? I said, and yesterday I said, I saw the mailman down the street, and I know usually they get to our building, I thought around about 2:00 or somewhere around up in there. And it was about that time. So I said, well, let me go downstairs to the mail room to see have anything come. So when I went down to the mail room and I was passing the manager's lady who's over the apartment building, and I just put my head in the door to say, hi, how are you today? And she said, oh, Miss Gray, I have something for you. I tried to call, but your message, is something wrong with your message on your machine? I said, I guess, because I didn't get the message. And she said, I have this box, but I had to put it in another box because the bottom was coming out. And when I got back to my apartment and opened that box, y'all, I'm saying I had some everything in that box. I had some 7th Avenue, the lemon drop butter oil, the body butter, the body scrub, the face scrub, the lip scrub. I had 2 different kinds of that. I had some kaleidoscope. I had some what else did she put in that box? I had some kaleidoscope. I had some Canvas Beauty. I had those scrubbies that you bathe with. I had the things that to wash your face with. I had some essential oils and by Mila Eve. I think those are by Monique Samuels. I got those. I got some seasonings. I got the 7th Avenue lemon drop body butter and the body scrub and the lip scrub and the face scrub. And I got the apple cinnamon body scrub, lip scrub, face scrub, and the body butter. Then I got some sugar mama, the baby oil, the sugar mama baby oil. And I got the 7th Avenue Revive. Oh, I cannot ever say that word. Revitalizing body oil. And I love oils because you can put your perfume and put your oil, and that oil will seal your perfume. So she just sent me a box full of a lot of stuff. And I appreciate that because I am true to myself. I don't hide nothing. And whatever I tell a person, that's what I want them to know. Like I tell people about my drug addiction. I tell people about my, I had that whole, I went through that whole phase for a while. I went through that thieving phase for a while. When you know better and you grow up, you start doing better. So I went through all of that. I tell you all about my children, about my granddaughter, about my daughter, about my sons. I talk about that, because I have nothing, absolutely nothing to be ashamed of and to hide. So therefore, nobody can use nothing that I have done against me, because I'm letting you know what I did when I was out there doing it. And then before that, my friend Willette had sent me that box. And earlier I had talked to my friend Mildred, and she has a page where she do perfume, and she's a connoisseur of perfume. She like to find things, the good things in life. So she had called and she said, Maritha, I got the job. And when you're a friend with someone, if you have a good friend, you always cheer your friend on, you encourage your friend, and you push your friend, you motivate your friend. And when your friends see doubt in themselves, you build your friends up. Where they see doubt, you see potential. You encourage them to go on. You could do that. You can do anything that you set your mind to. And she wanted to go back to work. And she said, I got this interview. I said, girl, you already got the job. She said, oh, I hope so. I said, stop hoping and knowing. I said, you got that job. So she went to the first interview, and they wanted her back for a second interview. And she called me yesterday. She said, Maritha, she texted me. She said, Maritha, I got the job. She had called first, and I think I was doing my morning ritual. And then she texts and she said, I got the job. And I called her back and she said, Maritha, I got the job. I said, I knew you would. I said, oh, I'm so happy. And I was just smiling all through the phone. And I was just so happy for her. And I was so happy with her, just to celebrate. It's so good when you celebrate. It feels so good when you celebrate others. And when you're celebrating them and you're being truthful, and you're not jealous, you're not mean spirited, and you don't try to bust their bubble, and you don't say mean and spiteful things. I was so genuinely happy for her because she was happy. And that was something that she wanted. And when you got a friend, yes, Miss Bugs, it was a nice package. And I was so honored that she felt that good. She felt the way that she feel about me enough to send me a package like that. And with all sorts of good things in it, essential oils and real shea butter and in different seasonings, and just a real care package that I can pamper myself. And I felt so special, and I felt so honored. So you know what? People are watching you. People are watching you. And then Mildred was telling you, well, she went on Facebook and she was saying, how she had overheard a conversation with this girl, and she was telling the girl congratulations. The girl was on the phone and she was telling her congratulations, and whatever else, I can't remember whatever else she was telling the young lady. And said the lady got up and hugged her. It's just nice to be nice. And then she said, and then the next day I get a job, and my friend is, my friend is congratulating me and how happy she is for me. And I can feel her happiness. I can feel her. And I told her, I said, Mildred, I am so happy for you. I'm smiling through the phone, girl. I felt so happy for her. I love to see people win. I don't like to see people hurt. I don't like to see people feeling defeated. I just don't like that, because when I'm a friend with a person, when you hurt, I hurt. And when you're happy, I'm happy for you, and I'm going to be happy right along with you. And I'm not going to say things to make you feel bad, but I'm going to be honest with you about things. I'm never going to sugarcoat anything because I'm not that friend that just go along to get along. I am that friend that's going to tell you when you're wrong. And I'm that friend that's going to celebrate with you when you're right. I'm going to let you know you did good, friend. You was okay. You did good with that one. And I like being truthful to other people. So if you can't be truthful to other people, you can't be truthful. You're not being truthful to yourself. You know, people they wear a mask. My cousin, she said people are so three-faced. You wear a face at work, you wear a face at home, and then if you go to church, you wear a face at church. And I took that to heart. I try to be the same wherever I am, whether it's at home, whether it's at church, and whether I'm at on a job. You know, I try to see the good in everybody because God said everything I made is good and very good. So I search for that good. And sometimes I get tired of searching and I say, well, God, you see it. I don't let me see what you see. And when God showed me just a glimpse of that, then that's the part I work with. That's the part I work with. I don't never like to see the bad in nobody. And if I can't help you, I will not hinder you. And you know, talking about a person and stuff like that, my daughter had to bring it to uh, my daughter had to bring it to me. She said, "Mom, I was sitting down talking about how somebody was talking about me." And my daughter said, Mom, you can't get mad because you talk about people too. And you talk about people real bad sometimes. So I had to understand if you don't want to be talked about, just live a life. There's nothing that you could do not to be talked about because people going to talk about you regardless. So you just do you. Be true to yourself. Be courageous enough to not to even give a damn about what people say about you. Because whatever they're saying about you, that don't mean that you that. You don't have to, as I say, you don't have to answer every call because at the end of the day gonna end. And people still gonna be talking. They're gonna be people still talking about people who done died, been dead for years. They're still talking about them. Sometime in a favorable way, and sometimes not in a favorable way. So you're gonna be talked about whether you're living or whether you're dead. You're gonna be talked about. So, get over that, move on, move past that. You be true to who you are. This is Friday, y'all. This is the 26th day of April. This year is fleeting by. This month is gone, almost gone. And I don't sit around wondering what people are saying or even thinking about what people are saying. Every day the Lord wake you up, that's a good day. That's a good day. Sometimes you wake up with a song in your heart. I'm just going to speak for me. Some mornings I wake up with a song in my heart, and some mornings I wake up and don't even want to get out the bed. But however, by the grace, God giving me something that I didn't deserve, and God's mercy giving me not giving me what I do deserve, I get up by his grace and his mercy. I get up and I try to be better today than I was yesterday. I challenge myself each and every day. Even when I get phone calls from people that I really don't even want to talk to, and God says, you know what? You that person that person needs. Pick up that phone and then start having a conversation with that person and end up hearing that person before they hang up saying, I love you. And I'll be going to myself, wow, that's amazing. That's God, what God can do, what God can do, and what God will do. It's nice just to be nice. It is so nice just to be nice, not wanting something from someone, not trying to get over on someone. It's just nice to be nice. And if we started that way every morning, regard every day, just start the day with the thought to, it's just nice to be nice. And I'm going to be nice to someone today. And that, being nice to someone, just holding the door open for somebody, buying a coffee for somebody, and just having a nice conversation with someone, or just even listening to someone honestly and wholeheartedly with no isms and having no issues. And you will see how good your day will be just by being nice. It What does it profit a man to gain the world but lose his soul? You could have everything in the world, but at the end of the day, you ain't taking none of that with you. You're not taking any of that with you, and it's going to be left behind for the people in your family to fight and waste. So just be yourself. And if you see yourself not being nice, step back and take a self inventory. It's always good at the end of the day to check yourself. Check yourself. Check your attitude. How was your attitude today? How was my attitude today? Was I nice today? Could I have been nicer today? Could I have been more loving today? Could I have said what I said in a nicer way? Did I hurt anybody's feelings today? And I used to think if I didn't hurt at least two people feeling a day, I wasn't doing something right. I was not doing something right if I wasn't hurting two people feelings a day. I used to feel that way. I honestly used to feel that way. I honestly, and if I didn't have somebody hating on me, I was doing something wrong. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? They not hating on me. I felt that way. But when I knew better, however, when I learned, when I became, because I was so unlearned. And we got a lot of unlearned people that's working in the corporate world, that's working in, not working, not even working in the corporate world. It's just a lot of unlearned people out there. And I didn't want to be in that number anymore. So when I became an adult, when I became saved, I stopped thinking like a child, stopped acting like a child, and I became an adult by God's grace and by God's mercy. So y'all, it's up to you. All power is in your hand. You have the power. You have the power to be any way that you want to be. Don't let nobody dictate if you're going to be nice or you're going to be rude, because they're that way. That don't mean you have to be that way, because it's so easy to walk away from things. I like to walk away from people. I really do. I will walk away from a ninja in a minute while you still standing up there talking. And I'll let you know what I'm getting ready to do. Look, I'm finna hang up this phone now. Click. Hey, look, I'm walking away because I don't want to hear that no more. I'm backing up. And when I'm out of your arm reach, I'm turning around and I'm walking away. I'm gonna leave you hanging. I'm gonna leave you talking. Now, if you come behind me, that's a different thing, because I am not turning the other cheek. When I turn the other cheek, I am swinging. I'm coming back swinging. So it's the weekend. You can start being true to yourself now. You can start having courage. You can start that today. Right now, you can start it. And you have that choice to have a beautiful day. Simply because you want to. Simply because you want to. Because today is the day that the Lord has made. And today that thing that you were praying to God and asking God for. It may not have happened yesterday. However, today just might be the day. And you don't want to mess that up with your stinking thinking and your stinking attitude. So if it didn't happen Thursday, it didn't happen Wednesday, it didn't happen Monday, your blessing is getting nearer than you think. So don't mess up your blessing. That's what I always say. I'm not going. Good morning, Dark and Lovely. Good morning. Thank you for being here. That's what I always say. When I see trouble coming, and I done prayed and asked God for something, and I'm continually still praying and asking God for this thing to happen for me. That's why I said I ain't finna mess up my blessing. I ain't finna let nothing. If I ain't gonna mess up my blessing, do you honestly think I'm gonna let somebody else mess up my blessing? I will bite my tongue. My feelings, my feelings gonna be what they gonna be. Cause at the end of the day, I'm gonna do what I got to do. If God say be still and shut up, I'm be still and I'm shutting up. If God say, be still, I got this, I'm being still and letting God handle that. When God say, be still and know, I'm being still and knowing that God is, God was, God is, and he will always be. So when God is in it, when you put God in your, everybody want to be in everybody's business. But when you let people in your business, it start wreaking havoc over your life. However, when you put God in your business, watch and see how things change. Watch and see how things will turn around for your good and for God's glory. And when that happened, I say, glory to God. I give God the glory. I give God the praise and all the honor because I know it was not me. I know it was not me. So, I give God the glory for the people, each and every one of you on this page this morning. When I said my prayer, I prayed to God for this channel, and I prayed to God for the people that come on and watch my channel. I prayed and asked God to bless each and every one in a miraculous way. Whatever you're asking God for, I'm in agreement with that. I'm going to say in God's holy and righteous name that whatever you hope for, whatever you praying for, I'm praying with you. And I'm praying for you. I can't call out people's name. I just say the people that come on my channel. And I really thank God for you, Miss Bugs, for getting up 5 o'clock in the morning. Girl, I would just have to catch morning conversations in the replay. But I thank God that, you up and you're listening. I thank God for that. Dark and Lovely, I thank God. I said a prayer for you. I said a prayer for you. I said a prayer for Anthony, Mildred, and Willette. I said a prayer for my children, and I called everybody's name. I said a prayer for my grandchildren, and I called their names one by one, one by one, one by one. Because God, collectively, you know what they need. Individually, you know what each and every person need that I prayed for this morning. And I said, Lord, and if you got any more blessings in store, please bless me. Bless my friends, bless my family. And I thank God for people. I really do. I thank God for the negative people that's in my life because they are teaching me as well. They are motivating me as well. And I thank the people that's positive, that's encouraging, that's loving up on me. I thank God many, many times for them. I just thank God. And when you give God the praise and the glory, not only for yourself, but for your friends, for your family, excuse me, even for the people that consider you an enemy. Because God said you can pray for your enemies, And I do pray for them as well. That they come to the light, to that marvelous light. Get out that darkness because you're always stumbling and bumbling and, things may seem like they're going good for you now. But hold on and keep going on in your nasty, vindictive, treacherous ways. Keep going on with it because God's word is not going to come back void. You're going to reap what you sow. And it ain't no, see, well, why is this happening to me? And when you ask God, why is this happening to me? Why is things not going good for me? God will bring it back to you. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. Because I'm that person that with all that meanness and all that hatefulness. And Lord, why this ain't going right? Lord, why this happening? Because God brought all that stuff back to my memories. And I had to repent and ask God to forgive me for that. And when I did that, I ain't saying I'm perfect. I'm not perfect. I am a flawed individual. I am imperfect. I am imperfect. But I recognize my imperfection. I recognize my flaws. And I don't try to blame somebody else for it. Because nobody did what I did and nobody make me do what I did. Because if y'all can remember, I don't like people telling me what to do. I don't like people telling me what to do. So why am I going to listen to somebody else when I can listen to myself? So it's the weekend, y'all. And I'm just trying to help. Just by letting you know, be courageous. Walk out there on faith. Step out there on faith. If you need to say it, don't be scared. Just say, Lord, direct my steps. Order my tongue. God, give me the right words to say. And if you need, just step out on faith with anything at your job, at your home, wherever. Just walk out there on faith, and then you're going to have a testimony to top all testimonies. Be true to you. Be true to yourself. If you're a liar, stop lying. If you're a cheater, stop cheating. If you're always talking about people, stop gossiping. If you're negative all the time, that's pressure. That's too much pressure. That's too much weight. It's just too much. That's too heavy a load to carry. That's too heavy a burden to bear. When you're positive, when you're thinking positive, when you're feeling positive, like Dion say, when you feel good, you look good. And when you look good, you do good. By looking good and feeling good, you got to think positive. And when you're thinking positive, you start looking good. You start feeling good. When you believe in yourself and start trusting yourself and being truthful to yourself, you just start feeling a way. You start feeling all like cocky, not in an egotistical way, but you start feeling like, I know I can do this because God said I can do all things through his son, Christ Jesus, that strengthens me. I can do this. I know I can. I know I can. Then you start feeling so good. You say, hell, I'm doing it. I'm doing this. I am doing this. And just for the day, just do it today. We ain't gonna worry about tomorrow because you know what they say. The word even tell us tomorrow ain't promised to nobody. So we gonna do this thing today. So in the meantime and in between time, y'all have a safe, productive, lucrative, peaceful, joyful, and happy weekend. Just for today. Just for today. Be true to you and be courageous enough to do the things that you need to do and the things that you want to do. So I'm going to say, whenever you see me in these YouTube streets, holler at me. I'll holler back. Peace out, deuces. And I'm finna get my Friday started. Okay. Talk with you later.